Hari Om. Welcome you all to yet another session on Python programming course. We are currently discussing module 1 and we covered features, different methods, basic elements, commenting, indentation, input and output in Python, then operators, then branching statements. In our very previous session, we talked about the iterative statements, in which we discussed how for loop and while loop can be used along with the else block. Then we also talked about the enumerate function, which is very much similar to the enum data type of C program. Then we also talked about Python data types, in which we covered the list data type. Then we discuss the list comprehensions, which provide a concise way of creating new lists. Then the syntax of list comprehension was also discussed. Then we also discussed some of the list methods like sort, reverse, copy, join. Then all these methods we discussed with examples. And we also talked about how list can be used as a stack as well as a queue. In this video, we are going to talk about the dictionary data type. We had already seen what is a dictionary data type very briefly. So dictionary consists of key value pairs. It is actually enclosed by curly braces, and values can be assigned and accessed using the square brackets, for which we give the key information and we can retrieve the value of that particular key. So the point to be noted here is it is declared using curly braces and the values are generally assigned and accessed using the square brackets. We had seen some of the examples also how dictionary can be declared. So this is how we'll be declaring a dictionary. So this is what you call as the key, and this is the value, and this is the key and this is the value. So this is how we'll be declaring the dictionary. And if you want to access the value of the key called name, then we will be using the square bracket. For declaring, we use the curly braces. So dictionary is nothing but an unordered collection of key value pairs. Now the question is, when we need to use dictionary. So whenever we have huge amount of data, we set key values to each and every data so that we can retrieve the data. We can retrieve the data using the key. Right? So say for example, if you have list of 500 different values, and you want to access any of these values. So by the time you need a key to indicate what data you want to retrieve. So for example, if you want to retrieve name of the person, you can just specify the name of the person using a key called name. Age of the person can be specified with the key called age, or percentage of the person can be described with percentage as the key. So that what data you want to retrieve, that will be specified using a key value. So that is why we set keys to different data using dictionary. Now when you have key and value, it can be of any data type. Key will be generally numbers or strings, whereas a value will be of any arbitrary Python object. And when you set the keys for the dictionary, you cannot have duplicate key, right? So you can't have duplicate key. If in case you have given duplicate key, then the last assignment will be taken. We'll see an example here. So this is how we declare a dictionary. So I call the dictionary as A, and I have the key as name and the value as XXX. age is the key and 16 is the value, right? So if I have this way, if you try printing the dictionary, you will get name here with XXX, age with 16. Okay, so that is what the dictionary key value pairs are. Imagine you have declared a dictionary, not key, dictionary. You have declared a dictionary like this. Name, you have given this. Age, you have given this. And age is coming again as a duplicate key, right? So it is being repeated with value 26. So if I am repeating it, what happens? Last assignment will be taken. So last assignment here is 26. So when you try printing A, right? So this is the dictionary where age is repeated again. So if I repeat it for 5 times, then the last assignment will be taken. Here I am repeating 2 times. So the last assignment is this one. So age will be taken as 26. So if you repeat it 5 times in the dictionary, then the 5th key value pair will be taken for the dictionary. So this is what you have to understand in the dictionary keys. And not only that, keys are generally immutable data types. So that is why in our previous slide we had seen it is generally numbers or strings. So it can be only an immutable object. So generally it will be numbers, strings or tuples. And it cannot be objects like list or sets because these are mutable. So in general, keys will be of immutable data types. Right? By convention, we generally use numbers or strings. Right? So very rarely we will use tuple, but numbers or strings are generally used as keys in a dictionary. Okay. Now let us see some of the dictionary methods. So these are some of the dictionary methods. Apart from that, we have some more methods also. Let us see what these methods are. Obviously, clearing is to clear the dictionary. That means it removes, right? It removes all the items from the dictionary. All the elements of the dictionary will be cleared or removed here. Then copy is used for returning a copy of the dictionary. It returns shallow copy of a dictionary, right? Then next one is from keys. From keys creates a dictionary from the given sequence. That is, it returns a dictionary with the specified keys and the specified value. We'll see examples of these 3 first. So this is one dictionary we can declare. This is the key, value, key, value, key, value, key and value, right? So these are the keys, type, brand, model, year are the keys. Values are car, Ford, Mustang and 1964. Okay. So if you want to clear this particular dictionary, you simply say vehicle.clear open close param because it is a method. If you want to create a new dictionary, that is you want to copy from the existing dictionary, you can simply say dictionary name dot copy and assign it to any other new data, right? Or your new variable, let me say new vehicle. Okay, so whereas the third method we had seen is from keys. It creates a dictionary from the given sequence and that is it returns a dictionary with the specified keys and the specified value. Let us see how it works. I am having a tuple here with 4 values k1, k2, k3, k4. And using this tuple, I tried to create dictionary from this A as keys. From A as keys. Okay. From keys and I have given a tuple here. So what happens? Obviously when I print the new dictionary, I have given only the keys, right? So it has taken k1, k2, k3, k4 as keys. But I did not give any values for these. So it has taken values as none. Right? It's a null value. No value is there. So no value given for all these keys. This is one way of using from keys. Okay. And another way you can observe here, I am having a tuple k1, k2, k3, k4. I want to use this tuple as keys and I want to assign 100 as the value for all these keys. If this is the case, you can observe I pass the first argument as the tuple and the second argument b with value 100. So what happens? For k1, k2, k3 and k4, it is having 100 as its value because I am passing only one value here. Whereas if I have a tuple here, I am having a tuple here. So for that tuple also, it is going to take it as a value for k1, k2, k3 and k4. So for all these four values, it is going to take 1, 4. So for all these keys, it is going to take 1, 4 as its key values. So A gives the keys and B gives the values. That is what you call as from keys method. So from keys method is used for creating a new dictionary from sequence and values from val. That means the first argument will be a sequence, second argument will be second argument will be value. First argument will be taken as keys and the second argument will be taken as value. We can also have list, right? So I can have a list for this keys also. It need not be a tuple. Instead of A as tuple, I can have it as a list also, right? And by the time also it will take the value from the second argument, right? So please observe here, if I don't give the second argument, it will take none as its value for all these keys. If I give the second argument, then the second argument will be assigned as the value for all the keys given in the first argument, right? So the first argument can be a tuple here. Here in this example, we had taken A as tuple. It can be a tuple or it can be a list also. So this is the output of these three print statements. Okay. So this is how from keys work. And get is another method which returns value of the key. So if you want to get the value of a particular key, we can use get method. Items will return a view of dictionary's key value pair. So let us see how get and items work. Yeah. So this is another example you can observe. Vehicle is the dictionary we have declared. I am printing vehicle. So when I print vehicle, it is printing the dictionary with key value pairs, right? So as I have declared, it is displaying the vehicle dictionary. I tried copying vehicle to new vehicle and I am printing new vehicle. So the same value, key value pairs are available here. Okay, I am clearing the vehicle. So obviously it removes all the items from the dictionary. So after clearing, I tried printing vehicle. So it gives you no value, right? It is a dictionary. It is having a reference to a dictionary, but the dictionary is empty now. Okay. And I want to get the value of key called type. I want to get the value of key called type. So I give get and the key here. It gets me or it returns the value of type. So what is the value of type here? Value of type is car. So car is returned and it is printed. And I tried getting the value of brand, which is brand is the key here. So when I tried retrieving the value of key called brand, it returns Ford and it is displayed here. And when I tried using items method, so items method, as it is said, it returns view of the dictionary's key value pair, right? So it is somewhat similar to printing the dictionary. So it gives you all the items, but it shows you in the dictionary format. It shows you in the dictionary format with dictionary object. So that your dictionary object looks something like this. This is the first data with key value pair, second key value pair, third key value pair, and so on. That is how items will be displayed, right? So you can observe here, when I tried giving the dictionary directly, it shows me in the curly braces, whereas when I tried items, it returns view of dictionary's key value pair. So it gives you the view of dictionary items in this way. So you please observe the difference between displaying or difference between having the dictionary name as an argument in the print function. Here the items, right, I am using items which will be returning the view of dictionary object. That is the difference you have to observe. Then these are other set of methods available in dictionary: pop method, keys, pop item, set default, update, and values. Pop is used for removing and returning the element having the given key, right? So that means pop will take one argument, and whichever argument you have given, that key value will be removed. We'll see an example here. I declared a vehicle. These are the key value pairs of vehicle. I tried printing the keys. Okay, let us see keys. Keys will return view object of all keys, right? So I say vehicle.keys. So what happens? Vehicle.keys give you only the keys, not the value here. In our earlier example, when I gave items, it gives you key and value pairs, but here the keys will be, the keys method will return only the keys. So you can observe only the keys are returned here: type, brand, model, year. Okay, so when I say pop and I gave an argument brand, that means this will be removed from the dictionary. The key with name brand will be removed. Okay, so by the time when I tried printing it, I am not trying to print vehicle, I am printing the popped item, right? So when I tried pop, it says Ford is the popped item, or I can say this is the popped value from the dictionary. I pop brand, so that means this will be removed. While removing, I tried printing the value of this key. The value of this key is Ford, so Ford is printed here. Okay, you can observe here the next method is pop item. It returns and removes latest element from the dictionary. Latest element from the dictionary. So that means what? The first element is this one, second element is this one, third element is this one, and fourth element is this one. So this is the latest element which is added to the dictionary. So when I say pop item, the pop item removes the latest item. Which is the latest item? Year 1964. So year 1964 is printed here when I tried popping. So that means your vehicle now contains type and model, because I have popped the brand key value pairs and I popped the latest item added here. So this is also popped, this is also popped. Okay, so that is the output of this statement. Then I tried printing vehicle.keys now, right? So here also I am printing vehicle.keys. By the time it says type, brand, model, year, then I popped two items. Correct? What are the two items I popped? One brand, the other one the latest element. So brand is popped and ear is also popped. So after popping, what happens? I just tried printing keys. By the time it is showing you only type and model, because the other two keys are already, or other two key value pairs are already popped. So I have only type and model. Then I have another interesting method called set default. It inserts key with a value if key is not present. That is, it returns the value of the item with the specified key. If the key does not exist, insert the key with the specified value. Let us see the example. I am having print vehicle.setDefault model comma aspire. So what happens now? It will search for the key model in the dictionary. If this key is already available, then the value will be returned. If this key is already available in the dictionary, then the value will be returned. Right? Actually, I have given value as aspire, but since model is already available in the dictionary, it was returning the value. Correct? Okay. Now, whereas in the second example, I gave color comma blue. What it will do? It will search for color as the key in vehicle. If it does not exist, it will insert the key with the specified value. So what it will do? Since color is not available here, the color will be inserted into the vehicle. Okay. It will be inserted into the vehicle and it will return the value blue. So when I try printing vehicle, it will show now type, model and color. Type, model and color. These are the three values that will be displayed. Okay. Now another method is update method. It updates the dictionary with new key value pair. So I am going to give update and I give dictionary format here, new key value pair. So I want to update the vehicle dictionary with one more key value pair, which is option and full. So what happens now when I try printing vehicle? I have type, model. Then because of this set default method, color was also added. Then using the update method, option is also added. So these are the 4 different key value pairs currently available in the vehicle dictionary. And the next method is values. It simply returns view of all values in the dictionary. So you can observe here, it returns the values. What are the values returned? The value of type, car, value of model, Mustang, value of color, blue, and value of option, full. Right? So this is how the different methods of dictionary work. Okay, so different methods: clearing, copying, from keys, which is used for creating dictionary, then getting a value of a particular key specified, items which will return view of the dictionary key value pairs, then pop and pop item, which are used for removing the specified element or removing the latest element. Then keys will be returning view of dictionary object of all keys. Then set default will check whether the key is present. If the key is present, the value will be returned. Otherwise, it will be inserting the key with the specified value. Update will be updating the dictionary with new key value pair, and values will be returning the view of all values in the dictionary. Right? Please go through the examples again and again, and you can try these examples in your Spider 3 IDE which you have installed in your laptop. Very good. Now the next session is dictionary comprehension. In our previous session we talked about the list comprehension, where we had seen the concise way of creating list. So the same is also used for creating dictionaries also. So this is one simple example of dictionary comprehension. I have a dictionary called A dictionary, which has A with value 10, B with value 20, C with value 30, D with value 40, E with value 50. Now I want to create a new dictionary. Here I want to double each value in the dictionary and create a new one. So I am going to give a concise way of creating it. You can observe how I am doing it. We had already discussed in list comprehension how the for in can be used for retrieving the values. So I am using for k comma b in this items. So what are the different items available? These are the different items. We know that items will be returning the dictionary format of the given values. So when I take the first item will be A comma 10, second item will be B comma 20, third item C comma 30, D comma 40, and fifth item with E comma 50. So first it will take A comma 10, then A will be retained as it is, whereas 10 will be multiplied by 2. So A 20 will be the first dictionary item. Then again in the iteration it goes to the next k comma b values, which will be b comma 20, and here b will be retained as it is and v will be doubled. So 20 will be doubled, where we will get 40. And in the third iteration of for in statement, it will take c comma 30 as a new set, new tuple. Then C will be maintained as it is and V will be doubled, where C will be maintained as it is and 30 is doubled as 60. Then D 80, E 100. So this is how the dictionary comprehension works. Right? So when I tried printing this dictionary, it will take all these values. You can observe all the values are double. So these comprehension examples will be mainly used whenever you want to manipulate on the dictionary. Whenever you want to manipulate the existing dictionary, then you can use this comprehension examples. This is another example here. See here what we had seen, I have used a dictionary itself here as the source for creating a new dictionary, right? So in this example, I have used a dictionary itself for creating a new dictionary. So that means I am creating a new dictionary from an existing dictionary. Whereas in the next example, I am creating a new dictionary from the existing list, not dictionary. Okay. So this is a list here. Right, this is a list of values and I am using these list of values, and you can observe how I am creating a dictionary here. So here for k in this list, so each iteration will take one value from the list. So first time it is going to be 1, then 2, then 3 and so on. Okay. So how I am framing the key value pairs here? K colon K doubled is the key value pair. So 1 will be the first value. So 1 is the key, doubled 2. Then 2 is the key in the second iteration. When you double it, 4 becomes the value. 3 is the key in the third iteration. When you double it, you get 6. Then 4, 8, 5, 10, 6, 12 will be the key value pairs for the new dictionary called D diction. Okay. So this is how the dictionary comprehension helps in creating new dictionaries in a concise way. So with that we are completing the dictionary data type, all the methods and the comprehension. We'll be discussing tuple data type and the comprehension as well as the methods in our next session. Thank you.